Shalom, Akim Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor as due to Yahweh, Bashmi, Habashai, Bashim, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations and hopeful light, those of the gospel, brother, for the standard of Yahweh, Bashim, Habashai, may be. It's the Akim Mahaloya coming back with another blessing to the Spirit. Lord's will be edifying to feed the hopeful elect. This is titled Because the Law is Slack. Just kind of meditating on some things throughout the day. I didn't get a chance to do my transit this morning. I just wasn't in the spirit to do it, so I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and do it now. But because the law is not slack, okay, because the law is slack, therefore, roughly paraphrasing it, because the law is slack, therefore unrighteous judgments do go forth. I believe that's Habakkuk 1 and 4. And based on that sentiment on, when you look at today's society, and you look at the people, when you look at the type of behaviors that people, mainly Israelites, you Negro, Latino, and Native American, like it's been a lot of judgment going forth on you jakes, man, because the law was being slack. So therefore you have nothing to your measuring tool or measuring stick to dictate or measure your actions, because in the ancient world, and this is what makes us different from a lot of people in this world. See, people don't understand us because we come in from an ancient world perspective. When you do something fucked up, then there's a consequence for it. Now, in this society, it's no consequences for bad behavior, so therefore, the bad behavior goes unwarranted, so to speak. And this is the reason why you have all this madness out here. This is the reason why you have adultery. This is the reason why you have Momo. This is the reason why you have transmissions, if you know what I mean. This is the reason why Jake is getting killed like freaking dogs in the street, because there's no measuring stick to judge their actions, man. Okay? And that's a big reason why Esau Edom has elevated the woman over men. One of the reasons outside of his felony system, and also implementing certain bias laws that's to lock men up for minor offenses. Okay? Because you have what they call draconianism, okay, which goes back into the Athens Draco, which means to severe or to full extent. So when you're getting extended or you're getting persecuted behind draconian law, that means that they're gonna persecute you to the fullest extent of the law. Okay, like this creep Joe Biden, and this is the reason why you Edomites, you're not capable of ruling, because you brought nothing but a lot of goddamn confusion to the planet Earth. Because basically, you taught basically to be a man in a society is basically bigotry. All right, no chauvinism. Okay, it's misogynist. Okay, it's toxic masculinity. Like, what the fuck does toxic masculinity mean? How the hell can masculinity be toxic? What about toxic femininity? What about the feminists, man? Those are some of the most toxic people on the planet Earth, man. But see, the problem is because they needed to lower the Israelite man's vibration so he couldn't betray it onto his family. Because the scriptures say he will teach his son grieveth the enemy. So as a child, you're taught by your father and your mother certain principles of the Bible or the principles of the scriptures, so they can know how to judge properly, so they don't just go off and judge off their emotions. Because what happens is when you bring forth wrong judgment and you're judging off emotional sentiments based on what you were taught or based on your feelings, then nothing would ever get accomplished that way. And that's the reason why women make horrible judges, man. I think it was some judge, I don't know if she was out in Cali or one of them places, but what happened was that she basically is getting stepped down because she's pretty much handed out a lot of biased sentences, man, based on her emotions. You know, because she didn't like certain individuals. When you a judge, it don't matter if you don't like him or not. If he's right, he's wrong, he's wrong. Okay, even an enemy could be found and vindicated crime. Okay, like if you know a known fucking murderer got locked up for stealing or being a kleptomaniac, you gonna put him away because you don't like him, or you gonna judge according to the law? Well, he didn't do it, so therefore he needs to be exonerated. Okay, but see, this society, they don't go off that. That's why I quoted the scripture, because the law is slack. Because when you have a law intact, you don't have no room for confusion, because if you break the law, your ass will be dead before the end of the world, before the sun goes down, depending on what law it is you broke. Okay, now not every law you broke was a sentence among death or execution. Just the more severe ones, like committing adultery, that's communicating quick, you out of here. You know what I'm saying? Committing adultery, what's another one? Blaspheming the name of the Lord, not keeping the Shabbat, okay, not keeping the Passover. Those are certain things that you will be put to death on the spot. Like the Lord put a man to death for picking up sticks on the Sabbath, man. Okay, or when he tried to grab the ark from falling, hey, the Lord killed him, got him out of here. Okay, now we're under grace, true, but in the kingdom we're still gonna we're still on the law, statutes, and commandments now. Okay, so this is the reason why certain men or men in this thing, we have a certain code we go by. Okay, now the brothers that raise children, oftentimes is conflict in that because a lot of times you're not with your baby moms. So you have your child, you teach them one way, the child's mother teaches them a different way. So when it comes your time to be parent, what happens is it becomes a conflict of interest because what are you teaching your child? It's basically polar opposite what your mother is teaching, because the mother's going to teach that what you're teaching is toxic, it's not logical, it's barbaric, it's abuse, it's anger, and it really is none of those things. Okay, because being a man, like the scriptures say, gird up and be gird up your loins and be men. In order to be a man, you have to have some type of harsh nature about you, man. Okay, like men and women, they parent differently. Women in this society, they bring their children up as can do nothing wrong. They bring their children up with the rudiments of this world. Don't ever let a man call you a bitch. Don't ever let a man put his hands on you. The typical blase, Western stereotypical bullshit. Okay, now we ain't gonna condemn it because I mean, for every action there's a reaction. Now we're not saying that you spare the rod, you spoil the child. So a lot of times the way Esau has taught us to parent, parents later on down the line find out that the kid's gonna hate him any goddamn way, because the more you're trying to appease a child's emotion based on an emotional value that this society has projected upon you, then the kid would never be satisfied. It'd just be more emotion on top of bitterness, on top of bitterness, on top of this, on top of that. It will never end. And you're gonna find out when this kid grows up, it's gonna still resent and hate you, no matter how good you've tried. Trust me. Okay, prime example why the families are broken, ultimately the curses. Okay, so what I'm getting at is when you have the law, statutes, and commandments intact, it's black and white. This what happens, this what happens. When daddy and mommy get into the fight or whatever happens, the kid, in the ancient world, they actually had to observe it because that shows you what not to do. Okay, but the society teaches you different. Okay, when you get into it with your mother and father, you don't want the kid around. Clearly because, you know, it can be a stumbling block. Clearly, it can be. That's why this society has to be destroyed. It's too far. You can't be a man here. You can't be a man here. You be a man, you will be locked up. So basically, you are forced to simp, or you're forced to play ball with a world that's unreasonable, man. Okay? So with that being said, when you bring the child up in the scriptures and with proper judgment, they ain't going to depart from it, because they can easily say when they get older, well, my father taught me this is right, this is wrong. Like I give the analogy of my kid. I have a 12-year-old daughter, right? Now, me and my mother, we always have a debate about this. She said, if a man did anything to your daughter, you'll want to kill him, right? I said, that's not necessarily true. What do you mean? You see, we can't even have a conversation because she got emotional. You know what I'm saying? In order for me not to lose my composure, I have to really get off the phone with her, or I have to really lower my vibration, because when you're dealing with people like that, you have to lower your vibration because they're just not going to get it. They're destroyed by feminism, okay? Feminism is a big problem for the Israelite community, okay? Feminism has just as deadly an effect on our people, the same as abortion, genocide, okay? Adultery, all these things. Black culture, it breeds death. Feminism is death culture. And Esau has spewed that venom upon our people, men and women, to the point that they don't even judge with sound judgment, okay? They go off their emotions on how they feel about shit, whether it's right or wrong. That's a destruction waiting to happen. Because one minute you may feel like, okay, I feel like it's right to go shoot up the whole world, and clearly it's not. And then you go off and do the shit because that's how you felt. Where in the fuck in the scriptures is that? That's not in the Bible, man. Scriptures say judge a righteous judgment. So it don't matter how you feel about an individual. If they going off, they going off. If they vindicated, then they're vindicated. We don't, and that's the problem. Us as men of the Lord, we don't do things based on our emotions. Now, we do get emotional because we're in the flesh, okay? We grew up in this weak-ass society, projected all types of emotions on us due to our mothers and shit, dealing with certain women. But overall, we judge with logic and reasoning, man. It's simple. Like going back to my mom again, I like to use her as an example. She like, well, you wouldn't want a man to do anything to your daughter. True, I wouldn't want that, but you have to understand, in a righteous society, if my daughter was being wicked, I couldn't help what somebody did to her. Because first of all, she being wicked, by me being the father, off the rip is gonna come down to me. Now I'm gonna have to be the judge because I'm the first, you know, the mother's the first teacher, but I'm judge over the house. I'm the Lord over the house. So if my daughter get into some folly and she's out committing a whore and she's committed adultery on her husband, then, you know, hey, matter of fact, that ain't even in, if she's married, it ain't even in my hands no more, because it's like a transfer of ownership. And this is another thing that you women don't understand. You don't believe that you're property of your husband, okay? Because you let that word property put you in a mindset, oh, nigga, you don't own me. Well, you are owned. Everybody is owned by somebody. We're owned by Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. You're owned by the men. That's how it works. It's an order, okay? Now, that's not to say that you mistreat or abuse your property, but see, this is why Western culture has failed our people, because stereotypical shit, stereotyping, certain words you use, certain verbiages can be trigger points for people to get in their goddamn feelings. I can't say women are property because that trigger a whole list of feminist behavior. Now all the bullshit starts. Oh nah, nigga, you don't own me, you know, and that dumb shit. And we're not even saying it in a malicious manner. We're just telling you the truth. Once a woman gets married from my father, okay, it's a transfer of ownership. That's why you had a dowry. A dowry was basically a receipt. Look, this is it. I paid the dowry. You know, I married your daughter. Now she belongs to you. Now you do with it the way you see fit, righteously. So, long story short, if my daughter was an adulterer and her husband ended up executing or wanted her to be executed, or he ended up having a harsh punishment upon her because adultery, that's just a no-no. I'm using that as an example. Okay, whether she was back talking and disrespecting, calling him a bitch ass nigga. And in society, they tell you, oh, you got to eat them words. No, you're not supposed to eat those words. You're supposed to deal with it. Because if you eat those words, eventually you're going to start to believe that shit. And it's going to fuck with you, man. That's why Esau don't allow niggas to get revenge on adultery. You notice he don't persecute that shit. He don't prosecute it because that destroys you, man. Okay, when a man is being belittled by a woman, that fucks with your manhood. That's unheard of in the ancient world. In the ancient world, women had to have permission to look men in their face. And they find that so goddamn aggressive today because this punk ass society we living in. Oh, well, you ain't supposed to think like that. How come I'm not? I'm a man. I'm a man of the Most High. It's about order. Now, we telling our women, bow your head, bitch. Look, no, we ain't saying that. But honestly, if they had any type of humility and they believe that we were the real men of the Lord, they will take that approach. But they're not going to take that approach because they don't believe that. They believe that they're more what they believe that they're more than what the Most High said they are. Now, we're not taking away from what good women do. We're not saying that at all. But we calling a spade a spade. In this society, women has gotten away with fucking murder. Okay? Jake has took the full abuse of torture in this place, man. From Esau, from his own men, and from their women. Period. Jake has no say-so. You see? And that's the curses, and it is what it is, and it has to be rectified. So, back to the point. If her husband dealt with her the way it is, and she was caught in an act of adultery, what if she disrespected him in front of the company, opened her mouth, and he decided to say, you know what? Get out my face. Go back in the room and get out and stay out my face. This is dealing with men. He's not wrong for saying that. But in this society, oh, nah, you abusive. You don't talk to me like that. Well, in the ancient world, that was his right. And guess what? We're still in biblical times now. And if you don't get that, the Most High is going to destroy you. Because we're going back to that way. Just this time, on this side, majority of you women are going to be put to death. Okay? You 2/3 niggas, you're going to be put to death. Okay? But in the kingdom of heaven, we ain't going to have to tell our women to shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out, we ain't going to have to do that to them because they're going to know what it is. They're not going to be involved with men and devils, man. They ain't going to come in there and disrupt. Nigga, you forgot to take out the trash. You owe me. No, they ain't going to have that spirit on them, man. That's on this side. But overall, if he decides to deal with my daughter how he's going to deal with her, guess what? That's out of my hands. And she's like, well, how can you say that? What you mean, how can I say it? I just said it. It's called judging righteous judgment. And it's just what it is. You people are just too fucking emotional because that's why this damn devil has to go. Okay? We ain't the ones that's wrong. You people are the ones that's wrong. You know, when they say you follow the masses of the crowd, man, 9 times out of 10, you're creating your own ditch, so to speak. All right? So this is the precept. Clean like linen. This is Jeremiah 31:22. It says, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? Okay? This is talking about you Israelite women. You Negro, Latino, and Native American women. Okay, now the spirit has switched. This is about not keeping the law being slack, but hey, we got on the spirit of the women. That's the spirit. Spirit is like the wind. But whether you believe you're an Israelite or not, this is talking about you. Okay, it says, for the Lord have created a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass a man. That's a prophecy that came to pass in this day, because I like to always say the Gardanian pact that you black women have took with the serpent, which is the so-called white man, okay, that really played out in this day and age. Okay, because in the ancient world, when it was a man's world, before these punk ass Edomites came into play, it was a man's world. Okay, it was a man's world, and men's rules, men dictate shit. Men's word was law, okay, like it should be. Now, we're not saying that to be aggressive or abusive, but men, we deal with logical and reasoning, and we deal with emotional stability. Now, at times we do get emotional. We do lash out. It's called being in the flesh. Everybody gets that. I've gotten emotional before, you know what I'm saying? I got my breaking points. People may feel like I'm emotional all the time because when I'm teaching on the highways, I'm out there rebuking. I'm passionate. People mistake passion for emotion. People mistake me yelling and rebuking and calling shit out as emotion. It's not emotion. It's called rebuking, man. And it's called building up and tearing down. We don't care if your feelings don't agree with that. It's because you emotional, you know? But we're not saying that to be all chauvinistic. And ain't nothing wrong with that, man. But we ain't saying it to be so-called abuse, which abuse just means to misuse something against their cause. Like if I took a little girl and I used her like a little boy and I put her in basketball and I made her to be a tomboy, that's abuse, because you know why? That's against her natural nature. So a lot of you parents out there, you abusing your kids and you don't even realize it. Why? Because you're following the westernized culture, which is death. Any renowned scholar will tell you anything dealing with feminism, anything dealing with westernized culture, it is destined to fail. Right now, look around you. You have tons of broken homes. Why is that? Because feminism, okay? Because Esau has given them rights. He's taken away the men's rights, and a man cannot be a man in his household. You raise your voice in your household, you are a tyrant. You are a lion in your house. You raise to put your hand up to put down order in establishment, your kids will resent you. Your wife will resent you. And they're going to play off that fucking social stereotype that Esau has told them to play off of. And you're going to be the fucking demon. No matter how many Bible scriptures you go into, no matter how much you do, at the end of the day, you yelled at me, you yelled at mom, you fought mom in front of me, whatever you want to call it. You fought dad in front of me. Now, you the problem. I mean, I don't even understand this happened because shit is out of order. You know, like my grandfather and the men back in the ancient world, back in the 60s, they were real fucking men. You know what I'm saying? Like, I give the example of my mother. My mother, right? And watch a nigga get emotional over this. And this is what I'm talking about. Now, if I was emotional, I wouldn't be able to say what I'm just saying because this is my mother. Most niggas, man, no nigga could do nothing for my mama. But you know what? My mother was a demon. I seen the way she dealt and misused men my whole fucking life. As a kid, I never understood that shit. So it was a lot of my mother's boyfriends. The fact that I didn't like them because I saw them fight my mother. Because that's my mother. I had an emotional attachment with my son, you know, my sisters and brothers. That's what happens when you see a man beating up on your mother or fighting your mother or she's beating up on him. You're going to resent that man because that's the projections or the emotion she's put on you to do that because you grew up under her vibration. Women admit it all the time. But as I got older, I started to see like, you know what? Them men wasn't wrong for what they did. They wasn't wrong. The fact that you bought several men around us, that was completely a thing to be judged. She needed to be judged for that. You know, because she's bought men around us that wasn't my father. You know what I'm saying? And I know shit happens, but overall, let's just say if you didn't deal with my father no more, and you dealt with one man after that, or you just dealt with one man, okay, fine, exception to the rule. But going a step further, you bringing different men around us from time to time. You're not supposed to do that, especially with no fucking son, man. Definitely not no little girl. You know? So when she got into altercations with men, my mother was very verbally disrespectful. She called men all types of dogs. She called them out their names. She called them bitches, motherfuckers, fuck you, you black bitch. Clearly not a woman like. That's not how women are supposed to behave. That is barbaric. That is straight up masculine behavior. Unacceptable. Running up on men. And then one day, she got her ass body slammed by my little brother's father and then knocked her head to the wall and busted her head open. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, it traumatized the shit out of me because I seen my mother's face busted open. And I think she went to, I'm trying to think, I think he went to jail. I think she went to jail that night. No, she went to jail because she provoked this shit. Back in the day, they had what they call these model murals. You had like 3 to 5 to 10 to 20,000 piece, like actual model replicas of particular cars and ships. I remember it was a ship. We all sat at the table, me, my sister, my brother's father. My little brother was a baby at the time, and my mother and my older sister. We all sat at the table, and it took us a few weeks to build this big ass ship. And once we built it, we put it like on top of the mantle in the living room. Okay, so long story short, they got into it. She took this fucking ship because she didn't like what he said to her, and then she threw it at the nigga, man, and hit him in the fucking head with it. Now, just off the fact that she talked to him, he was totally justified on bringing judgment on her, because you don't talk like that to no man. I don't understand what you women don't understand. You have to understand men have breaking points. Men were not, in the ancient world, you would die if you talk to men the way these women talk to us today. Now, King David had mercy on his wife, but then again, she would have been better off dead because she died childless. He put her away because she started talking shit. He could have just... My phone overheated, so slocky about that brief intermission, man. It's kind of hot in that damn car. But anyway, like I was saying, shit, and that's Satan, man. You know, Satan interrupts it, but it's all good. So basically, long story short, but what I was getting at with the situation with my mother, man, and my brother's father, and several men, you know, even her and my father had fallen outs about things, and I understand it now. I heard it from everybody. You know, they was like, well, your mom, you know, she wasn't the most easiest person to deal with. I get it. And what you have to realize too, it's about respect. Okay, it's about respect. You just can't flip off to anybody the way you think you want to, because it's repercussions for everything. It's because Esau doesn't require of you, doesn't mean Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai does not require that. Okay, and I'm going to get that precept real quick, and I know brothers typed a few precepts on the comment board. And it's just what it is, man. And people don't like us because we just straightforward. We're telling the truth. There's no bias. Like I gave the account of my daughter. It's just what it is. People are like, well, nah, you just saying that. Well, no, that's true. We judge according to these scriptures, man. Now, if it was unjustly done, then that's a different story. See, everything is put into its proper perspective, man. And that's one thing about Jake. Jake don't know how to put things in proper perspective. They see one thing and they run with it, man. Like this video. This video, some might find it offensive, but hey, do I stop teaching because you find it offensive? No. That means that you just have the issue somewhere that you got to figure it out. We've come to terms with things are going to be bias in the society. This is the reason why it has to go. Because if the law, statutes, and commandments was being propagated in its entirety here, we wouldn't have half the problems. We wouldn't have half the broken homes. We wouldn't have half the disrespectful kids, man. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be as such, because there would be a repercussion. Because what happens is, like the scriptures say, rebuke them before the congregate, rebuke them before all, so that they may fear. Okay, a lot of times in the ancient world, if you had a marital spell or a marital disorder or a marital issue, a lot of times the sons or the kids will be there to witness it, because a lot of times you have different witnesses against the woman if she went off. Now in this society, people don't really witness against women. I mean, you see it all the time, but it's thrown under the table. So therefore, there's no learn situation from that. There's no learning from the situation. It's just a repeated cycle of abuse and hate and just totally disloyalness, man. Okay, straight wickedness. Men in this society, you're held to every possible standard at all. And if you don't play ball with this society, you're less than a man. If you try to come from this Bible with anything outside of Esau's bullshit that he's pushed on our people, you less than a man. Okay, like I said, you a bigot, you a fucking terrorist, you abusive, you all these things, you're all these stereotypes when you trying to come from the word of the Lord, man. Because the word of the Lord, action, there's a reaction. You do wickedness, this is the repercussions for it. Now, I will say this, in balance, and this comes with growth. You know, when brothers are young in this thing, you know, you may have women, you may try to force shit to it, man. You know what I'm saying? You may want to do whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you may have a woman, you may be hard on her because you want her to get it. Like me personally, like when I first came into the truth, Just like I was just trying to wake everybody up. At that time, I didn't, I mean, I had my child's mother, but we wasn't really dealing for real. I didn't really care about her at that point. We tried to make it work. And then, yeah, I was trying to bring up the law and the scriptures because I'm like, okay, I got a daughter by this woman. This is the way we need to live our lives so we can be profitable. So that way we don't be judged with the world. That didn't work. Clearly it didn't work. So you have to, when you come to grow, you deal with things how they come. Now, you brothers out there that's a little bit more seasoned now, you got you a woman or a family that's unbelieving, then you got to really deal with them in a balance, so to speak. Now, you put the fact that what's wrong is wrong, sure, you can bring that out. But I'm going to tell you like this, from my mouth to your ears, you will be fighting a losing battle. I mean, because clearly common sense tells you if you behave this way, this is what happens, this is what needs to happen. But same time, you got to be very careful on not to cross that threshold, to not get yourself in a predicament, man. So reality of it is, this is really your first love here. You got to focus on this, man. This is the only way out of this hell. Period. Nothing else works. Even women that's in the truth, they give their men hell. I've seen so-called women in this thing that try to teach other men, like the women in the IUIC. Yeah, right, man. You can forget about ever having a real situation with any one of them, because I'll tell you like this: get involved with one of them, you will end up you will end up being judged by Esau, because I'm gonna tell you like this: they make you want to whoop their ass. Okay, now I'm a person, I'm not biased, I'm straightforward. Honestly speaking, majority of these women, they need judgment. They do. These men, they need judgment. That's just what it is. This is in the scriptures. Look at the behaviors. You got momos out here, okay, that's projecting that image onto children. What is being done about that? Nothing. It's just fucking being condoned, man. And we have to sit back and take this shit. And everybody's looking at us like, what the fuck wrong with y'all? What you mean what's wrong with us? We filled with the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. We don't want to see this wickedness. You got kids growing up in a society of, you got trainees with dicks. Who the fuck want to deal with that, man? And then you get in trouble for speaking out about it. So you see what I'm saying? Okay? Habakkuk 1 and 4. Matter of fact, let's start at verses 1. It says, the burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. O Yahweh, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Right? Because we're crying out now for all the injustices that's being done in our nation. Our nation has totally been railroaded under this Western culture. And we're trying to give our people back the light and the truth, and they hate us for it. Even our own in this faith hate us for what we're doing, man. They come against us for trying to give you back life on what you should be abiding by. But you chose death, man. That's why the scriptures say you made those that made their covenant with death, you're going to find death. Because when you incorporate your being in this society, you're going to go down with it. No way Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to deliver you when your mindset is hell-bent on keeping the American standard and principle alive. You're not going to make it out of here, man. Because the scriptures say, depart from her, man. This is not your rest. So men should be vexed when you see women with booty shorts on. Yeah, you should call it out. Now, it's up to you if you do it or not. It's a time and place for everything, because certain things are done out of season. It's a certain thing about doing things in season 2. You don't just go out there on a tirade and curse everybody out. That's the younger years. We did that shit. We did it because we saw our elders and shit do it. We learned from the example, and then reading the scriptures, you seen the prophets did it. But, as you get older in this thing, you kind of ease back. That's why we're more into teaching now. Now, the spirit hops on us to call shit out. Like about a month ago, woman, she offended us. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get the camera on what she did. So therefore, it was a biased opinion that was coming against us. Our own people coming against us based on some disrespectfulness that Keisha did. Guess who got the 3rd degree? We did. But mainly me. Oh, this brother is hateful. He's wicked. He's evil. He's a hypocrite. All this bullshit. And I wouldn't be surprised the person that was doing it, I probably know him personally. Just honestly speaking. They probably somebody that I probably knew at a point in time. Somebody that probably lived across the hall from me. Could be a woman I dealt with. Could be the woman I dealt with. Okay, I'm just saying that in just hypothetically speaking. Because you just never know who's an agent until they reveal themselves, until the Lord show you. Okay, not to throw any shade, but that's just what it is. So long story short, man, we're supposed to be vexed with this place. Okay, children are not being brought up in the law, statutes, and commandments. They're being brought up in the ways of America. Go to college, find your education, become an independent woman, or find you a man and marry him on paper. The most worst advice you can give anybody. Why is that? Because The scriptures don't back that plan up. That plan in life has failed billions of people. That's why people don't do it no more. Right now, everybody's coming against the public food system. You know what I'm saying? 75% of marriages end in divorce. You got stupid celebrities that's going down there signing their name on paper. Why you want to do that? Why would you make a covenant with the heathen? This is just stupid, man. Now, if it benefits you, then so be it. Okay, because it's one of these situations. But judging on the way society is now, that's something me personally, I wouldn't want to get caught up in Esau's paperwork. No, I'm not against marrying women. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against marriage at all. We're not against that, because you have a woman and that's your woman, that's your wife. What does a piece of paper dictate? The same thing you're gonna do with it if you got a common law marriage. You move in, same goddamn thing. You're doing the same thing. You eat, sleeping, fucking, and shitting together. You're gonna do the same thing when you go down there and sign that paper, and you're gonna do the same thing when you bring her onto yourself according to the Bible. Okay, it just, in the biblical perspective, you ain't got Esau that's gonna ruin your fucking marriage, man. That's the whole point. All right, and if you can't understand that, it's because, hey, you just don't understand it. Okay, and it says here, why dost thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? Right. And this society will create emotional instability in your mind. You know how much shit our people go through a day, just waking up in the morning. It's on record, and it's statistically proven that so-called men and women of color, whether you be of Negroid, Indian, or Hispanic descent, they say our sleeping patterns is horrible, man. We don't have good sleeping patterns. I haven't had a good night's sleep in damn near 2 weeks because of the trauma this fucking society has put on us, man. And when I go down to bed, I just go to bed. I don't feel no type of, I mean, I guess we all stressed out. You just don't know it because you're overly stressed. But I just go and I lay in my bed, and before you know it, I'm not comfortable. I'm tossing and turning. I'm getting woken up out of the middle of the night. There's no rest. Who wants to continue to live in a place like this, man? Okay, and that's statistically proven. Our sleep patterns are a lot more traumatic than any other nation. Why? Because we are the Israelites and we are being put through hell, man. And that's what we're trying to tell people. But Jake, they want to keep a blind eye to the bullshit fucking lifestyle out here, man. This place has nothing to offer our people. Nothing, man. This what has something to offer. And we understand, I get it. The Bible has put, the church has put a negative light on the Holy Bible, because you got false prophets out there, you got thieves, you got robbers, you got Jim Jones. Hey, we get it. We get it. But that's no excuse to put your faith in a society that's failing you either. Okay, because at least acknowledge what we're saying. Matter of fact, look up what we're saying in the scriptures. Look it up for yourself. Scriptures say, let every man be persuaded in his own way. You know? And it says, for spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that rise up strife and contention. Right? You go out in the streets and you voicing your word, you voicing, lift up thy voice as a trumpet. A trumpet is a very loud instrument, man. You go out there and you do that, and just regardless of how you moving as a Hebrew Israelite, it's gonna turn heads. It's gonna make people question shit. People get on the phone, hey, man, you know, he part of that Hebrew Israelite shit. But yeah, these are the same individuals that ain't doing nothing with their lives, man. They ain't even seeking a higher power. At least seek some God that's gonna get you to make you a better person. You know, like one quote that stood out to me in the movie Menace to Society. And brothers, I'm gonna get all your precepts. Y'all lighten it up, the water, man. But one thing that stood out to me in the book, in the Menace to Society, what's this guy's name? Charles Duncan, I believe that's his name. That was the father of Sharif. Now, when him and Cain and Sharif was in a classroom, he said, Cain, you got to think about your life. He says that I don't agree with the whole Allah thing, but he said if Allah can make him a better man than Jesus can, then I'm okay with that. Now, not to say that Allah, that's not justified. That was totally off what he said. But I'm getting at the point that this man found something to give him some type of peace, even if the shit was off. And that's the point I'm trying to make versus people that come against us for what we believe in versus to what they're not doing. Okay? If that makes sense to you brothers out there. And it says, therefore the law is slack and judgment never go forth. Okay? Prime example, 2 through women to produce semen. That's unheard of. That's going to be passed. That's going to be accepted. Nobody's going to come against it. Nobody's going to judge that shit. We going to say something about it. But nobody else. Everybody's gonna turn a blind eye to it. $200,000 in taxpayers' money to put preschoolers in front of transmissions, man, with fur dicks hanging out, dressed up as Elmo with a 20-inch rod, man, in front of a fucking toddler. And you mean to tell me we not supposed to be mad about that shit? Hell yeah, we got to be mad. Because remember, you push the curriculum of the state. Hey, don't send your kid to one of these schools. They're going to take her anyway. And you don't know what your kid is being indoctrinated when you ain't around them, man. And that's another thing that Jake don't get. And we're just telling you the facts, man. And it says here, for the wicked doth compass the righteous. Right, the wicked can pass us around, man. Esau Edom, as my brother from Orlando affectionately said to Brother Isaiah, Shalom, Yahweh Shemel Shah Barakatah to you, man. Hey, I love the videos, by the way. They're very informative, man. They're very in the spirit. And you know what, brother? Very edifying, man. Keep pushing out. It's beautiful work. Consistency, man. That's where it's at. But like the beloved brother Isaiah said, man, fuck, I lost my train of thought, man. But it says, but wicked compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceeded, man. Okay? And that's the point. All this, like, oh, he called them Job 9:24s. The wicked, the Edomites. And because this damn devil has been allowed to rule for this long time, that cancer stick spread into all our people. All our people, man. All our people. Now, you got our men thinking the same way as Esau. You got niggas out there that's cooning for Esau, man. You got Jake that got government jobs, man, that's all gung-ho for their slave masters, man. Oh, man, I love my job. Why? You know? But anyway, Clean Like Litten, I read that. Matter of fact, it says, so as my people, children are their oppressors. Actually, that children, that's manifold. That's going into Esau, Edom too, because if you go to Job, the 30th chapter, it says, they that are younger than I begin to have me in derision. Okay, Esau is a big kid. He's a big kid, man. He'll smack you upside the head and you take the lollipop from him. Now he's crying, man, he smacked me. He took my lollipop, but you just slapped this guy, man. And that's the mentality our people come in. It's a big bunch of big fucking babies, man. You know, but it says, and women rule over them. And this is the reason why the law is slack, because women, they're not prone to the judgment that's written in the Bible. If women was able to get put in a place like they should, you wouldn't have half the issues, and they would be a lot happier because they would be under one Lord, which is you, ultimately Yahweh Shai, man. They don't want that from us, okay? Because they have spirits on them, and this man has to go down. And you should question yourself and ask, like, why wouldn't your woman want to be under you? Why wouldn't she want to be under her husband? Why would she want to be for another man and work for another man? And then there's always the excuse, well, you know, I got kids, I got this, I got that. That's all folly, man. That's just an excuse. Basically her saying, well, look, because I don't respect you enough. I don't have faith in you. I don't have faith in your decision making. Esau has signed me a bogus check and gave me Federal Reserve notes so I can go out there and run the streets and be as I want to be. You telling me on the other hand, I better watch how I dress. Who I'm going to deal with? A man that let me be fucked up, or a man that's trying to keep me to do the right thing? They're going to take the left hand because they're wicked. And that's just what it boils down to. There's no explanation. The point about it is they're wicked. Okay? Going on, 1 John 5:3, it says, for this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments. Good precept, salvation of the elect. It says, and his commandments are not grievous. They're not grievous, man. There's nothing grievous about the Shabbat. Shit, that's a day of rest. We don't have a day of rest in Esau's kingdom. The Sabbath coming in tonight at sunset, the new moon. And I still got to go to work tomorrow. It's the Lord, shit. According to the Bible, the Lord like, man, keep your black ass home. Miss that day. But we understand we in captivity, but Esau ain't going off that shit. Because his so-called Sabbath on Sunday, people still go to work. You got people that work fucking 60, 70 hours a week. How righteous is that? So the law ain't grievous. The law is actually good. Okay, thou shalt not commit adultery. Okay, thou shalt put no other gods before me. Thou shalt not steal. Those are good things. Those are laws of love. Those are beautiful commandments, man, because it establishes order. Like I always say, y'all follow Esau's 10,000 something laws. He come up a day to the T. You mean to tell me 613 plus laws are so hard? It's hard to dress modestly. It's hard to not disrespect your husbands or somebody over you. It's hard to not raise your children up in the right way. It's hard to walk orderly. It's hard to do the right thing. Obviously it is. But it's so easy to do the wrong shit. It's easy to go out to the club and commit adultery. It's easy to stop at a red light. It's easy to pay your fucking taxes, which that's hard. But it's easy to do these things. But when it comes to the word of the Lord, we don't want that. But that's okay though, because the Lord, he's seeing everything. Okay? Clean like linen, Ezekiel 23 and 37. It says, they that have committed adultery and blood is in their hands, and with their idols have they committed adultery, and have also caused their sons who they bear unto me to pass them through the fire to devour them. Right, man? That's a beautiful precept. Okay, because it says also with their idols they committed adultery. So when you idolize something, you make that your God. Like prime example, right? The Muslims, they believe in Allah. Now they got different opinions of it. We say it's a moon god, they claim it's the Kaaba, whatever, right? 365 gods a year. They worship a different Allah every goddamn day. Okay, that's an idol, but they made that a god. They put their faith and veneration in that. Okay, same thing with Jake in society, man. Whether it be white Jesus or whether it be themselves. You got a lot of Israelites. Oh, I believe in myself. How you gonna believe in yourself when you still under the so-called white man? How can you believe in yourself when you couldn't get yourself out of your condition? Now, we're not saying have confidence in yourself, but what I'm saying, when you project yourself as being above the high power, that's when it becomes offensive, man. Because you ain't create yourself. Yahweh Shai created you and everything around you. So, no, you don't have control, or you're not a God, so to speak, over the Lord. Okay? Oh, I believe in myself. Okay, well, then get your ass out of your condition. Get out of your condition. Okay, raising our children up in the public school systems, man, we all had to do it. But when it comes to the point that they're worshiping the works of their own hands, that's when it becomes spiritual adultery. Okay, and it says it calls them through the fire to devour them, right? Because they're going to be destroyed. Okay, because you didn't warn them and you didn't bring them up in the proper way. The scriptures say, train up a child the way he should go, and when he is older, he will not depart from it. That's talking about in the scriptures, man. And you have to teach the Bible from the right perspective. You can't teach it like the Christians do. Okay, because, hey, why do we say the children of Israel all throughout the Bible? Because that's our culture. That's our history, man. This is us that it's talking about. Okay, that's our ethnicity. We're not black. We're not white. We're not Mexican. We're not Puerto Rican. We're not Haitian. Okay, we're not Afro-American. Okay, we're not Negroes. We're not that. We are the children of Israel. This is a literal nation that the Most High has set up and is right in the scriptures, man. That's not hard to understand. That's just not hard. You should be able to open a book and look and like, oh shit, this is talking about our people. This is our history. This is what we supposed to be living our lives by, man. Not this fucking bullshit out here, man. This place brought nothing but death to Israelites, man. And it's still bringing death. You shoot at a Jake fucking 100 times. You hit this nigga 90 times? Come on, man. What's being black gotten you? Just don't get it. Salvation of the elect, Proverbs 28 and 5. Evil men understand not judgment, bang. But they that seek the Lord understand all things. That's the distinction. You ain't understanding judgment when it's being brought to you is because you ain't got the right spirit in you. The scripture just said it. Okay? Now, like I said, there's always exceptions to the rule. I didn't always understand judgment, and there's still some things to this day I may don't understand. It's called growth. Okay? But you lend your ear and your mind to the Lord so he can teach and build you up. You don't just hear something and shut it off like, okay, well, that sounds good, but I'm going to continue to do this here. It's because the Spirit of the Lord ain't marinating in you, man. Like that spaghetti sauce y'all like to cook up, it marinates and gets that flavor. Y'all ain't letting the Spirit of the Lord work in y'all, man. Y'all ain't letting it. You know? And that's the reason why it's a lot of confusion. And that's the reason why it's mass death. Because like I said, the law is slack. This culture, this westernized culture has done nothing but promote death. Okay, when you have teenagers, young kids talking about they identify with this particular gender, we have a fucking problem, man. It's a problem somewhere, and y'all not getting it. It's a fucking problem. You, Jake, you choose to be blinded by it. You choose to see the bullshit and turn a black eye and say, well, maybe it may change one day. It's not gonna change, man. Until the Most High take this devil out, because it's gonna get worse. This dude Biden gave a 5-year-old the authority to change his own what you call the reproduction system. And I have to say it that way because if I say it the other way, they gonna clip up, nigga. We waiting on you to say something wrong. Say it if you want to. Say it with your chest, nigga. You know. But anyway, salvation of the elect. 1 Peter 3 and 16. Beautiful precept. It says, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. That's obedience right there. Now, modern day women, I ain't calling no nigga Lord. But yeah, she'll go get on her knees for Esau. She'll go beg that nigga for a job. She'll go and walk her ass in that office every Monday through Friday and do a beautiful job for this damn devil. But when it comes to your black ass, nigga, please, you ain't no God to me, nigga. Please, you ain't nothing but a nigga. That's how it is. Trust me. Okay, I've seen it. Okay, I've seen it. Brothers talk about it. It's on TV. Shit, that's why you got what they call the red pill movement, men, MGTOW, men going their own way. They're detaching from women of the society, and part of me don't blame them. Okay, you know that MGTOW shit. That shit is off as hell. But I mean, I get it. You know, I certainly I get it in one aspect. I actually can see it. Why men are going their own way. Okay, women claim to go their own way, but regardless of it is, you women are a big problem in our nation, and it has to be fixed. Men are a problem too. I'm not gonna say y'all we're not. Men are a problem too, okay? But you women, you just went farther beyond than what any man can go. Scriptures say all wickedness is little to the wickedness of a woman. So if it's coming out the Bible, ain't shit you can do to refute that. Because the word of the Lord reigns supreme over any of your emotional opinions, okay? It says, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well, and not afraid with any amazement, right? So if you do well, then you're a daughter of Sarah. If you a wicked ass demon, then you ain't nothing but a heathen, man. Okay, and that's just what it boils down to. Deuteronomy 28, the brother Casey prophets of Yahweh. Shalom, bro. Deuteronomy 28:56, and it reads, says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which will not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness. Her eyes shall be evil of her towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son and towards her daughter. That go to family disconnect scripture right there. The curses, man. Okay, once upon a time, our women was very delicate and tender, and they wouldn't even dare to look you in your face. Dealing with a Judite woman back in the ancient world was like dealing with a closed-in Asian woman today that don't know the streets. Go down to the Philippines, man. Go down to Tijuana and get those sheltered women that have never even known men. You're gonna be like, what the fuck is this? You're gonna be singing that Usher song like make you want to leave the one you with and start a new relationship. You know. But nah, we not, we just saying that, just an inside thing. But no, that's the difference of how our women were in the ancient world. They were very, very humble and tranquil. Now we don't know what the hell these women are gone, man. And these men too, okay? We ain't gonna leave them out, all right? Casey Prophets, Lamentations 4 and 3, it says, even the sea monsters draw up the breasts, and they give suck to the young ones. The daughter of my people become cruel, like ostriches in the wilderness. Now, okay, I can say this too. Now, on the flip side, you have women that actually appear to care for their children. Men too, but I'm talking about the women now. Okay, like I use my child's mother for example. Now, yeah, she loves my daughter because she has no choice but to. But do she love her according to the Bible? No, because if she did that, she'd have a certain diet. Like we read earlier, the commandments of the Lord is love, real love, not your emotions. See, she loves my daughter based on an emotional opinion. Okay, meaning that I'm going to cater to my daughter no matter what she does wrong. That's a destructive mindset, because when you bring a child up like that, no matter what they do wrong, they will never be accountable for it, and you breed misfits and miscontents all over the fucking place. Trust me, man. Okay, so no, she does not love my daughter according to the laws of the Most High, but she loves her based on the westernized opinion, which is off as fuck. But I mean, it ain't like she wasn't told. Now, I can say another woman, for example, what can she do when she wasn't told the truth? She can't do nothing but go off what she was brought up on. Exceptions to the rule. But when you bring the truth to them and they reject it, that's because the Spirit of the Lord is rejecting them. Okay? And it's of the Lord's will they actually get it or not. And some people are so afraid of their kids, man. Oh, I'm afraid my kid gon'. I don't give a fuck. This little bastard served me, man. I don't give a fuck how harsh that is. Now, yeah, the scriptures say don't vex your child. And a child should not disrespect their parents, and you're not supposed to vex your sons and daughters. We understand that. But on another foot too, well, at the same time, there's an order. Your kids are basically your servants, man. At the end of the day, your decision making revolves around you being a parent, not their emotions, okay? Their emotions come from all over the place. Their children, they don't understand adult shit. When you dictate certain values of kids' emotions, you would always come up short, and you would never understand what the hell is happening, because you're basing your fucking feelings off somebody that haven't seen or witnessed the world yet to know how things work. Like I said, as a kid, if my parents dictated all their relationships based on how I felt about the men my mother dealt, she probably wouldn't even be with a fucking man, know what it's like, okay? Because I didn't know. I just saw a man fighting my mother, and I thought he was evil and wicked because I was told a man should never hit a woman. When in fact, the Bible doesn't prove that. Now, do we condone violence against women? No, we do not. We prefer not to even go that route. But just like with anybody else, women, hey, they deserve to get judged too. Like if a man come in your face, well, he's talking greasy. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna say talking greasy. Men talk shit. Fuck that. Nigga come in your face, he gets knocked out. Okay, because with two men, it's two extremes. Either you take the low or you go all the way. Women, there's no tolerance for disrespect, period. Because you're the weaker vessel. You can just get X'd out immediately. Okay, men didn't tolerate that talking back to you in the ancient world. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's about order and respect. Okay, like I said, Esau's gonna get a lot of you women and a lot of you men put to death, man. And I'm just being real. Okay. Damn, I'm going a whole hour. I didn't realize my phone finna die too, so I gotta hurry up and get off. So Salakia, Virgin Island, Straight Gate, Shalom. How about you? I'm sure I brought the die, bro. It says, Galatians 4:16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Right? Yeah, we are enemies of our people because we tell the truth, man. The truth is, it doesn't benefit everybody. You think you're doing a noble work, and you are, but according to them, you ain't shit but a problem. You need to be canceled. As one scoffer said, that GMS KC leader needs to be counseled. Sounds so familiar. Oh, you need to be counseled. Well, shit, if you feel that way, then won't you take it upon the beck and call and end my miserable existence then? Won't you come up to the camp and shoot me up then? Until you do that, then we ain't worried about what you niggas are talking about. Because you the ones that's going to be fucking counseled with all that harsh talk you speaking. Isaiah 10:21, the remnant should return, and even the remnant of Jacob unto the mighty power. That's right. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet the remnant of them should return, meaning a small elect few. Out of 2/3 of our people going to be destroyed. Out of billions of Israelites on the planet Earth, 2/3 of those people going to be destroyed. That's scary. When you look at the whole the whole circumference of everything, and you look at how many people we have in our nation compared to who's going to make it, you're going to have this many that's going to make it compared to a whole spectrum. And don't think that your judgment is going to be swift. No, the Lord's going to make you suffer, man. You know, because, hey, what you do, you give yourself over to the beast. Okay? Man, you brothers are lighting up the comment board, man. 2 Ezra 15:3, fear not the imaginations against them. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Right. Fuck the unbelief. They talk shit, so be it. We ain't here to appease everybody's feeling. We're here to tell you the truth, whether you hear it for bear. Yeah, you know, we compromise. We're understanding men. You know, we'll go the way which you tell. You know, hopefully you understand it. We will do that. We will, you know, put out the carpets for certain people to get it. We will do it. Because we're not evil like most motherfuckers say we are. We actually love our people. We actually will help them out. You know, and that's just the truth. It says, for all the unfaithfulness shall die in thy unfaithfulness, okay? All the unfaithfulness is going to die. You don't adhere to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord and do the right thing, you are going to be destroyed. Okay, Jeremiah 6:10. To whom shall I speak and give warning that they may hear? Who? But behold, their ears uncircumcised, and they cannot hearken. I'm talking about you Israelites. Behold, the word of the Lord unto them is a reproach, and they have no delight in it. Like, fuck that shit. Nah, you telling me I got to come under you? You telling me I got to cut my dreads? You telling me I can't eat pork no more? You telling me that I got to go out on every Saturday? You telling me I got to teach the fucking lesson? I got to bring out a show every single day, right? Nah, I'm cool with that, bro. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. That's what they do. That's what Jake do, man. Oh, you mean to tell me that, oh, I got to take orders from another man? I'm older than this nigga. Come on, man. That's bullshit. No, but it says the word of the Lord is a reproach to them. Why? Because there was no light in them. Okay? So, brothers, man, hey, man, beautiful precepts, man. I wish I could read them all, but I got a feeling this phone is getting ready to die out. So, Lord's will, you brothers were edified. You few Aquathium that listen to the video, you few Achium that listen, hey, may the Most High continue to bless you, man. You know, hey, pray for your families and, you know, your sons, your daughters and stuff like that, man. And may the Lord deliver us all in due time. And with that, all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to you elect brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth, putting your best foot forward, condemning this wicked ass society and standing up for righteousness and not biased opinions, man. All right? And with that, brothers, shalom and a ball. Shalom.